The Sometimes Friend.
The sometimes friend.
Lucy scanned the cafeteria and tried not to panic. It was her first day of third grade at a new school. She had no idea who to sit with.
Lucy scanned the cafeteria and tried not to panic. It was her first day of third grade at a new school. She had no idea who to sit with.
Then a girl with a big, bright smile waved Lucy over to her table. Lucy sank down beside her with a small sigh of relief. "I'm Dinah," the girl said. "Hi," Lucy said. "I'm Lucy." "I like your hair," Dinah said. "Wish mine was curly." "Thanks," Lucy said. "You look like an artist," Dinah said. "I like art," Lucy said. "Me too," Dinah said. "Let's draw at your house this weekend. I'll bring my markers. You can bake us cookies." "Okay," Lucy said, excited to have a new friend.
Then a girl with a big, bright smile waved Lucy over to her table. Lucy sank down beside her with a small sign of relief. "I'm Dinah," the girl said. "Hi," Lucy said. "I'm Lucy. I like your head," Dinah said. "Wish mine was curly." "Thanks," Lucy said. "You look like an artist," Dinah said. "I like art," Lucy said. "Me too," Dinah said. "Let's draw at your house this weekend. I'll bring my markers. You can bake us cookies." "Okay," Lucy said, excited to have a new friend.
On Saturday, Dinah came to Lucy's house. Lucy served snickerdoodles fresh from the oven. "I like chocolate chip better," Dinah said. "I told you that." "Oh," Lucy said. Dinah had told her nothing of the kind. Dinah ate the snickerdoodles anyway. Lucy watched her drop crumbs on the rug.
On Saturday, Dinah came to Lucy's house. Lucy served snickerdoodles fresh from the oven. "I like chocolate chip better," Dinah said. "I told you that." "Oh," Lucy said. Dinah had told her nothing of the kind. Dinah ate the snickerdoodles anyway. Lucy watched her drop crumbs on the floor.
"You have a great room," Dinah said. "My favorite color is purple, too, but my room is green." Dinah had finished the cookies. She sank down on Lucy's bed and said, "Let's draw here." Lucy hesitated, but she wanted Dinah to like her, so she agreed. It wasn't long before Dinah's marker slipped. It made a long black line through the purple flowers on Lucy's bedspread. Lucy gasped. "Oopsie," Dinah said. Her eyes were big and round. "It was an accident." Lucy nodded, but she wasn't so sure. It didn't seem like an accident.
"You have a great room," Dinah said. "My favorite color is purple too, but my room is green." Dinah had finished the cookies. She sank down on Lucy's bed and said, "Let's draw here." Lucy hesitated, but she wanted Dinah to like her, so she agreed. It wasn't long before Dinah's marker slipped. It made a long black line through the purple flowers of Lucy's bedspread. Lucy gasped. "Oopsie," Dinah said. Her eyes were big and round. "It was an accident." Lucy nodded, but she wasn't so sure. It didn't seem like an accident.
On Monday, Dinah and Lucy jumped rope at recess. When a girl and boy smiled at Lucy, she waved at them. Dinah stopped her. "Don't look at Anna and Eugene," she said. "They're laughing at you. They think you're a weird jumper." After school, Anna and Eugene asked Lucy to jump rope with them the next day. Not if you're going to laugh at me, Lucy said. Why would we laugh at you? Asked Eugene. Dinah told me you just want to make fun of me, Lucy said. That isn't true, Anna said. Sometimes Dinah lies.
On Monday, Dinah and Lucy jumped rope at recess. When a girl and boy smiled at Lucy, she waved at them. Dinah stopped her. Don't look at Anna and Eugene, she said. They are laughing at you. They think you're a weird jumper. After school, Anna and Eugene asked Lucy to jump rope with them the next day. Not if you're going to laugh at me, Lucy said. Why would we laugh at you? Asked Eugene. Dinah told me you just want to make fun of me, Lucy said. That isn't true, and Anna said. Sometimes Dinah lies.
That night at dinner, Lucy didn't feel hungry. What's wrong, Lucy? Her dad asked. Dad, she began. You know Dinah? The one who complained about your cookies? He asked. Lucy nodded. The one who got magic marker all over your bedspread? He asked. She said it was an accident, Lucy mumbled.
That night at dinner, Lucy didn't feel hungry. What's wrong, Lucy? Her dad asked. Dad, she began. You know Dinah? The one who complained about your cookies? He asked. Lucy nodded. The one who got magic marker all over your bedspread? He asked. She said it was an accident, Lucy mumbled.
So she did, her dad agreed. She confuses me, Lucy said. She compliments me and says she's my friend, but sometimes she seems like just the opposite. Her dad waited for her to go on. Today, Dinah told me some other kids were making fun of me, Lucy continued. But later, they told me she was lying. Friends make us feel better, her dad said. Does Dinah make you feel better? Sometimes, Lucy said. Sometimes I'm scared of her. She thought for a moment. And sometimes I feel sorry for her. I think maybe I'm the only friend she's got.
She confuses me, Lucy said. She compliments me and says she's my friend. But sometimes she seems like just the opposite. Her dad waited for her to go on. Today Dinah told me some other kids were making fun of me, Lucy continued. But later they told me she was lying. Friends make us feel better, her dad said. Does Dinah make you feel better? Sometimes, Lucy said. Sometimes I'm scared of her, she thought for a moment, and sometimes I feel sorry for her. I think maybe I'm the only friend she's got.
Lucy's dad smiled. To have a friend, you have to be a friend. Maybe Dinah hasn't learned that yet. You have. When the other kids get to know you, you'll make more friends. Dinah told me not to play with the other kids, Lucy said. Dinah's in charge of Dinah, he said. You're in charge of you.
Lucy's dad smiled. To have a friend, you have to be a friend. Maybe Dinah wasn't learned that yet. You have. When the other kids get to know you, you'll make more friends. Dinah told me not to play with the other kids, Lucy said. Dinah's in charge of Dinah, he said. You are in charge of you.
The next day at lunch, Dinah waved and patted the seat beside her. Lucy's voice shook when she spoke. Let's sit with Anna and Eugene, she said. No, Dinah said, they're mean. Lucy hesitated. Then Eugene smiled at her, and she felt a little braver. I'm going to sit with Anna and Eugene, she said. Come with me. Lucy, Dinah said crossly, sit down. Lucy had a lump in her throat. She didn't think she could speak without crying, so she didn't try. She didn't sit down, though. Dinah frowned and crossed her arms. You'll be sorry, she warned. Lucy swallowed.
The next day at lunch, Dinah waved and patted the seat beside her. Lucy's voice shook when she spoke. Let's sit with Anna and Eugene, she said. No, Dinah said, they are mean. Lucy hesitated. Though Eugene smiled at her and she felt a little braver. I'm going to sit with Anna and Eugene, she said. Come with me. Lucy, Dinah said crossly. Sit down. Lucy had a lump in her throat. She didn't think they could speak without crying, so she didn't try. She didn't sit down, though. Dinah frowned and crossed her arms. You'll be sorry.
The lump in her throat disappeared. I'm sorry about one thing, she said. I'm sorry we can't be friends. If you want to be my friend, you need to be a friend to me. I hope you will. She turned and walked over to Anna and Eugene.
Lucy swallowed. The lump in her throat disappeared. I'm sorry about one thing, she said. I'm sorry we can't be friends. If you want to be my friend, you need to be a friend to me. I hope you will. She turned and walked over to Anna and Eugene.
Sit with us, Anna said. Lucy felt a little shaky. She sat down and looked at the two of them. How's it going? Asked Eugene. Lucy took a deep breath. She smiled. They smiled back. Better, she said.
Sit with us, Anna said. Lucy felt a little shaky. She sat down and looked at the two of them. How's it going? Asked Eugene. Lucy took a deep breath. She smiled. They smiled back. Better, she said.